All right, buckle up everyone, because we are diving headfirst into Fourth Wing.
Oh, I'm so ready for this.
This book, I gotta tell you, has been everywhere.
It really has taken the fantasy world by storm.
For this deep dive, I'm assuming you finished the book, so no spoilers here.
Exactly. We're going full-on analysis mode.
We're gonna tackle those lingering questions and
Oh yeah, unpack all those fan theories.
some of them, I'm telling you, are wild.
Wild, but fun, right?
Absolutely. So to start us off, let's talk about the world Rebecca Yarros builds. Navarre. This kingdom, always at war, defended by these, elite dragon riders.
Yeah, it's a classic fantasy setup. You know, you got your dragons, your chosen warriors, but
But there's a twist, right?
big time. The conscription, forcing young adults into this, life or death service, it's intense, and honestly, it throws in some, thought-provoking social commentary.
That's what hooked me. Page 1, you're thrown into this world where your life isn't really yours to choose.
And then you've got Violet, our girl, who'd rather be, nose deep in a dusty scroll than anywhere near a fire-breathing dragon.
Oh, tell me about it. I mean, being forced into the writer's quadrant when she's, literally built for the scribe quadrant.
It completely flips the chosen one narrative on its head.
Seriously.
She doesn't want this destiny. She's fighting it every step of the way. And that internal struggle, that's what drives her character development. She has to face her fears, discover strengths she didn't even know she had.
And her transformation is insane. She goes from, this bookish, kind of fragile girl
To, a full-fledged dragon rider facing down these insane challenges.
in parapet scene, the gauntlet. I was sweating just reading it.
Right. She goes through the ringer, both physically and emotionally.
And yet she never loses her compassion. It's
Yeah.
even with this destructive lightning power, she doesn't become this hardened warrior.
She holds on to her values, and that, honestly, is what makes her so compelling, especially in this world where, let's be real, survival can sometimes mean, compromising your morals.
Okay, but can we talk about the relationships? Because things get messy.
Oh, messy is an understatement.
We've got this love triangle situation going on. Violet, her childhood friend, Dane.
And Zodin, the brooding wing leader.
I mean, come on.
It's a classic setup, but Yarros nails it. Dane represents safety, the life Violet could have had, but Zodin.
Danger, mystery, forbidden romance, all wrapped up in this, broody package.
Exactly. And Violet's drawn to both for different reasons.
The tension between them, though, it's
Yeah.
electric. Speaking of electric, let's talk about the dragons.
Okay, yes.
They are not just, mindless beasts in this world. They have personalities, desires.
When they form complex bonds with their riders.
The connection between Violet and Tarn, the golden dragon who can, read her mind, it's intense.
It's a whole other level of intimacy and vulnerability. We don't see that often in fantasy.
Right. Makes you think about free will, destiny. How much control does Violet actually have when her dragon knows her every thought?
It's mind-boggling. And then we get Indarna.
The talking, gift-giving, feather-tailed dragon.
Yeah.
Hold up, a talking dragon. That changes everything.
It challenges everything we thought we knew about dragon dynamics. She's sassy, she's powerful, and she clearly knows more than she's letting on.
Oh, for sure. And that's a detail that has a lot of fans speculating. I mean, rightfully so, right? It's what's her end game?
Right.
Okay, but let's talk about that ending, because I am still reeling.
I know, right.
The revelation about Xaden, the battle at Athevine, I did not see that coming.
Yarros really knows how to pull the rug out from under you. You're like, I trust this guy, there's this whole romantic thing building, and bam, everything you thought you knew is flipped.
And suddenly you're questioning everything. Is Xaden a good guy? A bad guy? What are his motives?
It's all up in the air, and you're left wondering, what just happened?
Seriously. And that cliffhanger. Pure genius.
It's what keeps you coming back for more.
Absolutely. That cliffhanger. I mean, the fandom is exploding with theories right now.
Oh, I've seen some wild ones.
Xaden's survival, secret alliances. Some even say he could be, connected to the Venom.
The Venom, now that's a theory I can get behind.
Right, with his shadow powers. And what we learn about his father.
It's all very suspicious.
Makes you wonder, is Xaden fighting a battle on two fronts? Within himself and against, everyone else?
It wouldn't be the first time a hero had a dark side.
Speaking of dark sides, the Venom themselves are terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. They're the embodiment of corrupted magic, a constant reminder that power, especially magical power, can be incredibly dangerous.
What do you think Yarros is trying to say with them? Symbolically.
I think she's showing us the duality of power, the potential for both good and evil that exists in Well, in everything, really.
That's deep.
The Vannin, they're the physical manifestation of that corruption, like a warning sign, you know?
Yeah, like a big, scary, monster-filled warning sign.
Exactly. They represent the chaos that's threatening Navarre, from both inside and out.
Okay, but what about Andarna? We can't forget about our time-stopping, gift-giving, feather-tailed dragon.
Oh, she's definitely a wild card.
Some theories say she's way more powerful than we realize. Maybe even the key to, like, defeating the Venin or something?
I wouldn't put it past her. She's got this ancient wisdom, a connection to magic that we haven't even scratched the surface of.
And her bond with Violet. That can't be a coincidence.
Right. It feels like she's been watching, waiting for Violet to emerge. Like she has a specific role to play in all of this.
It gives me chills just thinking about it. But let's move past the action for a second.
Yeah.
This book, it dives into some pretty heavy stuff.
Oh, yeah. Courage, sacrifice, trust. The corrupting nature of power. Yarros doesn't shy away from the big question.
It's what elevates it beyond just a typical fantasy story, you know? Makes you think about your own choices, your own values.
And Violet's internal struggle. It's so relatable. She wants to do good, to help people, but she's also got this incredible power that could easily corrupt her.
It's like a constant tug of war between her heart and her lightning bolts.
Exactly. And the love triangle. I mean, as much as we love a good romance, it also speaks volumes about the choices we make.
Oh, absolutely. Dane, representing safety, familiarity. Xaden, with the danger and passion.
It's like she's choosing between two different versions of herself, two different paths.
And the consequences of that choice, they're huge, both for her and everyone around her.
Exactly. And speaking of consequences, that ending, with Xaden's fate left so ambiguous.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's driving me crazy. Is he alive? Did he sacrifice himself? Can he even be redeemed at this point?
It's brilliant though, right? It keeps us guessing, keeps us coming back for more.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. I want to talk about some specific scenes, like the moment Violet discovers her lightning power. That felt symbolic, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. Lightning, it often represents raw power, sudden change, even a kind of like divine intervention.
It's like a visual representation of everything she's going through, breaking free from the limitations everyone else has put on her.
And that storm raging outside, as she's discovering her powers. Talk about symbolism.
Right. It's like the world itself is acknowledging her, mirroring the chaos she's feeling inside.
It's foreshadowing, too, all the storms, both literal and figurative, that she's going to have to weather.
Okay, but what about Axon's shadow magic? It's alluring, mysterious, but also kind of creepy, you know?
Oh, for sure. Shadows, they often represent our hidden selves, our secrets.
The parts we don't want to admit to.
Exactly. And Zagn's power reflects that duality. He's capable of great good, but his methods are often, well, questionable.
Yeah, he's always walking that line between light and shadow.
And you never know which side he's going to tip towards.
That scene where Violet confronts her mother about the treatment of the marked ones, that was intense.
That was a turning point for Violet. She finally stands up for what she believes in, even if it means defying her own mother.
It's a powerful moment of rebellion.
Yeah.
Like she's finally breaking free from the expectations and the prejudices that have been holding her back.
And it speaks volumes about the importance of speaking truth to power, of fighting for what's right, even when it's hard.
Especially when it's hard. And that scene also highlights the complexities of family, right?
Oh, definitely. Their relationship is strained, and it reflects a larger societal issue. The way fear and prejudice can be passed down through generations.
It's a cycle that needs to be broken. Okay, but back to Dayton. That moment he reveals his true allegiance. Talk about a gut punch.
I know. What do you think his endgame is? Is he really betraying Navarre, or is there something more to it?
I think he's playing a dangerous game, but I don't think he's malicious. Maybe he's trying to expose something or shake things up from the inside.
Maybe. But his methods are risky, and the consequences could be devastating.
And the Venin attack on Athabine. That was brutal.
That was a wake-up call. A reminder that war is never pretty, and it leaves scars, both physical and emotional.
It's easy to get caught up in the adventure, the romance, but Yarros doesn't let us forget the true cost of war.
And the fact that even the dragon riders, these elite warriors, are vulnerable, it shows just how fragile life is.
Okay, but that scene where Liam dies, I was not prepared for that.
I know, it was so sudden, so heartbreaking.
What do you think his death represents in the grand scheme of things?
I think it's a turning point for Violet. A loss of innocence, a stark reminder of the world they live in.
And the sacrifices that are made every single day.
Liam's death, it fuels her transformation. It makes her more determined, more focused.
And speaking of sacrifice, Xaden's decision to ally with the Griffins, that felt like a huge sacrifice.
He risked everything. His reputation, his relationships, everything he'd built.
It makes you wonder, is it worth it? Are his motives pure, or is there a darker agenda at play?
That's the question, isn't it? And the beauty of Yarros' writing is that she doesn't give us easy answers.
She makes us think, makes us question, makes us feel all the feels.
And that's what makes it such a good story.
You know what's really been sticking with me? That ending. It's not just a cliffhanger. It's like Yarros is straight up asking us, what do you believe?
Totally. Like, what are your values? What do you think is right and wrong? Because this book, it blurs the line.
It throws the whole hero-villain thing out the window.
Exactly. You've got Satan, who we're supposed to root for, making these choices that could be heroic or could be, well, kind of messed up.
It depends on how you look at it.
And that's the point, right? Life isn't black and white. There's a whole lot of gray.
And that ambiguity, it carries right through to the very last page.
Yeah.
We don't know if Satan's alive, if he'll come back, if he can even be redeemed.
It's left for us to decide, almost. And it makes you want to go back and reread everything, looking for clues.
Oh, I've already done that like 5 times.
Me too. And the fan theories. People are coming up with some crazy stuff.
It's awesome. It shows how much this book has gotten under people's skin, how much they care about these characters.
That's the mark of a good story, right? When it sticks with you, makes you think, makes you feel.
So let's talk theories. What are some of the ones that have caught your eye?
Okay, so this one's been popping up a lot. Sidon and the Venom. Like, what if they're connected somehow?
Oh, I've seen that one. His shadow magic, it's so unique, so powerful, and we know there's a dark side to it.
Some people even think he might be able to control them, or that he's like accidentally helping them spread without even knowing it.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
But it would explain a lot, you know? His secrecy, his willingness to do things that are, well, kind of shady.
And then there's Endarna, our resident time-stopping, gift-giving, riddle-speaking dragon.
She's got to be hiding something, right?
Oh, absolutely. She's playing a long game, that's for sure. Some people think she's connected to the ancient prophecy, or that she's been manipulating events behind the scenes.
Like a puppet master.
Maybe. And what about Violet's mother? We've talked about her ambition, her ruthlessness, but what if there's more to it?
What if she's got a secret agenda?
Some people think she might be working against Navarre, or that she's hiding something big.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
It would definitely explain her questionable parenting choices.
And then there's the whole hidden magic system thing. We know signets are based on your deepest self, but what if there's more to it than that?
Lost artifacts, forbidden spells, ancient rituals.
Exactly. It's like Yarros is just giving us glimpses of this huge, complex world, and we're left to fill in the blanks.
But beyond the theories, the speculation, what do you think Fourth Wing is really about? Like, at its core?
I think it's about finding your strength, even when you don't think you have any. Violet, she starts out believing she's weak, that she doesn't belong, but she finds this incredible power within herself, and she learns to embrace it.
It's a story about overcoming, about finding your place in a world that tells you you don't belong.
And about love, too, the kind of love that pushes you to be better, to fight for what you believe in.
Violet and Xaden, their relationship is messy, complicated, but it's also incredibly powerful.
They sacrifice so much for each other, and it makes you wonder, is it worth it? Can love really conquer all?
And that ending, it's a reminder that sometimes love means letting go, even if it breaks your heart.
It's about trusting that even in the darkness, there's still hope. That even when things fall apart, something beautiful can still emerge.
It's been an amazing journey diving into this book with you.
Absolutely. Fourth Wing, it's more than just a fantasy story. It's a story about humanity, about courage, about the power of love and hope.
And for our listeners out there, if you haven't read it yet, what are you waiting for? Go grab a copy. And let us know what you think. We want to hear your theories, your reactions, your everything.
And if you've already read it, well, reread it. I guarantee you'll find something new each time.
That's the beauty of a book like this. It stays with you, makes you think, makes you feel, makes you want to keep coming back for more.
So until next time, happy reading.
And keep those wings spread.